and welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Jessica Clemons, and I'm here talking about Bo DeMayo's recent tweet regarding the original Wanda Maximoff, who we were supposed to have in Multiverse of Madness. Before you think I'm crapping on this movie, I'm not. I actually really enjoyed and liked Multiverse of Madness, though even Elizabeth Olsen has commented recently being like, maybe they didn't know what my character was really about. And some fans felt the same way. This might feel like redemption for y'all. In this video, we'll take a look at the original script where Scott Derrickson was on it and how Wanda has changed and the future of Wanda Maximoff in the MCU. But first, make sure to go check out nerdriot.shop for the latest and greatest in New Rockstars merch. Next week is the week. It is the time. It is the witching week. Not the witching hour, the witching week for Agatha All Along. Go get your merch there to go support her. I'm so excited for Agatha. Go get a Blade shirt. We're getting into the haunted horror season. You might as well get our scariest shirts that we got. Supporting us through nerdriot.shop is a great way to support the channel. All right, let's get into the video. Thursday evening, word got out of a Wanda movie reportedly developing at Marvel Studios with Jack Schaefer and Megan McDonnell attached to it. Production Weekly released the information behind hopefully their next biggest endeavor. Not much is known about the movie since it's in development, but again, we'll look at how Wanda was changed and if the future film for Wanda Maximoff, will she be more aligned with the Multiverse of Madness version we last saw or the original Wanda that we wanted. Comicbookmovie.com shared an article about the original story details from scooper My Time to Shine. There, they disclosed how the movie initially started with Wanda as a hero and not a villain. The original antagonist was Nightmare, and Wanda was supposed to help Doctor Strange reach and defeat him. It also turned out that Michael Waldron and Kevin Feige changed the storyline. Waldron, who hadn't watched WandaVision allegedly, wanted to make Wanda the bad guy. So this, as you'd imagine, completely changes the plot in the script. Though it did line up with other stories and rumors of the original script, My Time to Shine used their access of the original concept art and the information to explain the original plan. So it's up to y'all to decide whether this scoop is accurate or not. But that's when Bo DeMayo chimed in, having access or have seen the original script. But right now we're gonna switch it up. I promise I'll get back to the original story, and let me tell you, it's actually excellent. But first, you need to know how it all began in case you didn't know, or maybe you just forgot. It's been a long time. Scott Derrickson is one of my favorite human beings for scary movies. He directed and co-wrote the first Doctor Strange with another one of my favorite scary guys, C. Robert Cargill. He was initially chosen to direct Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness until he left the project quietly in January 2020 due to creative differences with Marvel Studios. And what you mean by creative differences? I feel like everybody uses the word creative differences differently. Eventually, Feige came out and said we both wanted to make different movies, and Scott had a choice between a film in which he was compromising a lot of what he originally wanted, or he could go make Black Phone with Universal. He chose Black Phone, which is an excellent movie. Sam Raimi then replaced him. Filming began in 2020, then was delayed due to the pandemic. They were shooting on and off then, and Billy and Tommy were confirmed to have shot in 2022. The real funk, it was under extensive reshoots, which is normally part of the process in production, but it sounded like they went through a lot of heavy reshoots to a degree that was like questionable. The movie later came out with mixed reviews. People mentioned the plot was weak, the script was like all over the place, things weren't really explained well. Additionally, Wanda didn't feel like Wanda. She didn't even feel like the Scarlet Witch either. It was more so people felt like WandaVision just never happened in this world, and it wasn't portrayed well. Also, how are you gonna call something Multiverse of Madness and we only see like 2 universes? Now that's madness. That's insanity. Okay, so the original story, according to Bo DeMayo, goes as follows. Wanda was with Strange recovering after Westview. Feeling bad about what she did, she helps him. Wong and Chavez, who she tutors, beat Nightmare across the multiverse, I assume, where she also sees her variants happy with her kids. Still, Wanda resists, and she, not Chavez, helps Strange save the day against Nightmare, who turns out to be a Darkhold corrupted Strange variant. Also, she used her experiences in WandaVision to warn Chavez about abusing her power. At what point did she need to warn her? She needed a warning. I digress. Only after saving the day, unable to resist finding a multiverse where she can be with her kids, does Wanda, sobbing, break from Strange and accidentally beheads Wong, who tries to stop her from fleeing into the multiverse. That was the film's cliffhanger. And even when she flees, Wanda is torn up by the guilt in classic comic book fashion and keeps apologizing to Strange as she vanishes and leaves him with his dead friend's body. Now that's a goddamn script. That script and that story would have been so damn good. Wong dying would have been like horrible and sucked, but you gotta crack a few eggs, you guys. So I'm not saying that Wong is an egg, but I'm just saying, come on. If you want the kids from Stranger Things to die, you gotta kill them, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video. Autumn's here, and if you're feeling stressed by the thought of going back to school or overwhelmed by all the work you have to do before the end of the year, it might be time to talk to a therapist. That's something BetterHelp can help you do. BetterHelp makes starting therapy easier and less intimidating for a lot of people. First, use our link to go to their site, betterhelp.com/nerdriot, BetterHelp.com/new Rockstars. The site will ask you to answer a few questions so BetterHelp can match you up to one of their over 30,000 therapists who they think can help you out the most. The therapist they pick for you will have tons of experience dealing with whatever you're going through. Every single one of their therapists is licensed, has a master, a doctorate degree, and has spent over 3 years and 1,000 hours working with people just like you. You'll be matched to a therapist usually within 48 hours, so you can get started fast. We've been promoting BetterHelp for a while and have heard some amazing feedback from you guys, and we got permission to share this review from one of our viewers who said this. I've had a few therapists over the last couple of years. My therapist was the most open and accommodating therapist I've ever had. He listened when I needed to talk and told me some hard truths when I needed to listen. I couldn't recommend him more. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you all from the comfort of your own home. Visit BetterHelp.com/new Rockstars or choose New Rockstars during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. I don't even hate Multiverse of Madness. I didn't like Quantumania, but I definitely didn't hate Multiverse of Madness. But I love an evil Wanda and I like how scary she is, but for a franchise that must continue forever, I can personally say Multiverse of Madness had no legs standing on future business. As a standalone Buffer-esque movie, this original story would have given a lot of future to work with. Also, I hate to say it, but this is what happens when studios have different ideas, and at the end of the day, what the studio says goes, so they had to change it. As a third-party observer also in this madness itself, I must add that Bo DeMayo, who said all this, was fired from Marvel. As some of you may have noticed, their relationship is no longer on like good terms. Bo DeMayo is also currently suing Marvel as we speak. All I'm trying to say is that this could still align with a scoop, but again, this lines up with many other rumors regarding Multiverse of Madness. Also, a version of Wong beheaded was an early concept art, so someone had to kill him. You know what I'm saying? Like, meh. Is there. Additionally, we know Bo for his work on X-Men 97, but Bo was also one of the supervising producers on Moon Knight and wrote an unused script for Blade. He was once very close in ties with Marvel. If they were shooting Moon Knight around spring of 2021, they probably finished the script between 2020 and 2021, which Multiverse of Madness was in the grips of pre-production. There's a chance Bo saw the original script to know what they would feature, or perhaps just saw concept art. There's also a chance they worked out of the same offices, perhaps. There's a lot of ideas, I'm sure, behind Bo getting access to the original concept idea, or just the original script to begin with. Though there's a lot of things that changed in the script's plot, there's moments in the original script that actually stayed. Waldron, in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, did mention the Illuminati and the massacre was also in the first draft script. Though things like Balder the Brave being killed by Mjolnir didn't make it in. Do you guys remember how Balder the Brave was supposed to be in this movie and played by Daniel Craig, and it just went away? Other things that didn't appear, like 616 Mordo being killed. Mordo had confronted Wanda in the burned forest and then she kills him, and now deleted tweets from Scott Derrickson. I believe Jericho, Drum, and Cleo were set to appear, which we know Clea eventually did just at the very end. There was concept art and set designs for the place where Strange's sister also had died. It felt like the movie in all would have been more grounded in sadness than superhero-y things. Clearly it was a first or second draft and initial ideas because so much would have happened throughout that story that would have been cut eventually. Though I'm pumped for the original script, I will say if Nightmare were a version of Doctor Strange, we probably wouldn't have seen Robert Downey Jr. return as Doom in Doomsday. They feel like the same kind of move. Also, I don't want to be this person, but don't act like y'all would have liked it for Wong to die. It would have just been me, and it would have been for the plot. But a version of Wanda becoming good, or the essence of the original script, can make its way into the MCU because clearly turning her into the bad guy was not the meal ticket Marvel was starving for. This is what I'm expecting for her in her own movie, a good Wanda like the original concept. Wanda is dead in the MCU. All it takes is finding out that she's been thriving in a different universe. Not necessarily the Witch's Road and Agatha All Along, because I think that'll still make her like a villainesque like character, but just exist outside of time for her to heal like she was after the events of Westview according to the original idea. Since Wanda is dead in the MCU and we don't know if she's appearing in Agatha All Along, she might appear next in her own movie, but we might want to see her in Secret Wars. And that meeting between her and Strange following Wong's death would have been so dramatic. There's still a chance to see her in Secret Wars and get that like shock meet cute with Strange because he thinks that she is still dead. The only difference between her showing up on Battleworld after both movies' outcomes, how one look between them after the events of Wong would be horrible. It would be, ooh, delectable. I kind of want to see it. But now, after the events of Multiverse of Madness and what we've seen, it's just going to be like, oh, I thought you were dead. See, it's more fruitful if we went with the original script. If she had a relationship with Chavez instead of trying to kill her, that dynamic of her working within Kamar-Taj perhaps would have been iconic. The powers of both her, Strange, and Wong would have solved every nearing disaster that's coming to the MCU. Incursion warnings or other villains able to just transverse the multiverse. In a way, Loki becoming the tree at the end of time allows him to understand and subjectively mold time, so he probably knows of the impending doom that's coming. pun intended. He's perhaps the only thing in the MCU that does, but Wanda, Strange, Wong, and Chavez would have also been a new team of people who could have found it out sooner. I really love the original script idea. I think it does make it more for Wanda and the Scarlet Witch, and that story could have gone on for God knows how many years, but we just technically don't have that right now. We have Multiverse of Madness, but the original script's ideas could still pull through into the future of the MCU, and we could see it in Doomsday or Secret Wars. I have hope. You can still bring that goodness from Wanda into the MCU. You just have to do it strategically and maybe not as abrupt as what we're gonna get. Let me know in the comments how you feel about the original script, whether you believe it or not, or even if you wanted it. Follow me at Lulu_Clemons. Subscribe to all 3 channels in the new Rockstars network for more breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.